Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the Odds Couple Show here for this Rockin' Friday from Turfway. Happy Valentine's Day, first of all. Also, it's a big night here at the track, and we have 8 races, 2 stake races, and there's a lot of talent in those races.
They're deep. Both races are very, very deep. The typical Maker and Ward, but there's others in there that can win too, and I like a 5-1 shot in the first stake. I'm excited, hoping that I can get somewhere near there.
Right. I think we may be on the same horse, but we'll see when we get to it because my horse is 5-1 in there. I picked on top as well.
There goes my price.
There went the odds. We'll see. Maybe it's a different 5-1 shot. But that is the Cincinnati Trophy, and of course the 3-year-old $100,000 John Battaglia Stakes. That's a prep for the Jeff Ruby Stakes, which takes place here on March 14th, and currently 48 minutes to post. We're going to talk about this card, and I love the card. And if you're playing the pick 5, I think it's down to a pick 4.
Yeah,
I think
with
you
the
have
scratches.
I think there's a free space in the opener now that everybody's going to play the horse. I guess maybe if you want to try to beat the horse, you're going to be rewarded because I would say over half the people are probably going to single as well.
Well, but before we get started, don't you have another dance to go to tonight or something? I mean, you leave.
I leave and you
I catch fire.
Yeah,
I got everybody in the place high-fiving over the pick 5, the pick 4, all the top pick winners. I couldn't get on the elevator when Tomei win the first race. Everybody was all excited. I said, we got to find another dance for Jimmy to go to and send him back.
Yeah, I had a great night that night. I sorry to miss work, but I did get your picks later on in check. So you hit the pick 5, hit the late pick 4 twice. 5 top pick winners, tune of
6,400. If you just bet the 50-cent pick 4s and 5s, you'd have cashed for over $6,000.
Well, hopefully we can do that tonight. I'm back. I won't jinx. Maybe I'll dance here.
Of course, I didn't run away with the money. I came back Wednesday and Thursday and Friday.
Supplementing the purses?
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, there's probably some
I
happy
just give it back.
here.
I just give it back.
There's some happy fans that were rewarded with it, and certainly the Horsemen got a percentage of that. They appreciate it. So good purses, good card tonight here at the track. I'm back. I may dance if it helps Dan win some money. So we'll talk about this 8-race card. Pick 5 time in the first leg. There are a couple of scratches. The 2, 3, and 6 are all out of the opener. And this is a maiden filly, 15 to go a mile. And how'd you see this race?
Well, at first I thought we have a chance to beat this favorite. But then the scratches came in. And now I'm to the point, I don't know who can beat the 4. I mean, my Sweet Babu is just – on the drop, should be able to sit close or go to the lead if the kid wants to, and should just keep running. I don't see anybody in here. I kept trying to find somebody. Maybe the 9, I guess, could second start, from Gulfstream could run a little bit better. Maybe the 8 could run a little bit better, but on class, on speed figures, I just don't know how they deal with this horse. I think she's the single of the early pick 5 and the easy winner.
I think so, too. I was trying to find a way to beat her because, like I said, if you're playing to pick 5 and you can beat her and you have the right horse, your ticket just went from – it just exploded.
Yeah.
It went up 100 times. So, Abby's Destiny I can make a case for. Maybe I can make a case for. But their numbers just, to me, don't stack up. My Sweet Babu, 6-5 in the morning line, currently 1 for 9. Off that slight layoff here, debuted for the $30,000 level at 6.5 furlongs. It's not her best distance, I don't think, anyway. She was the beaten favorite, second beat 8 lengths, but that was against the boys. Now she's back
Busy
against
Ride.
Phillies.
Busy Ride's a nice horse, a very nice horse. Yeah, back in
Busy
against
Ride
the girls.
came back into 1X after that and was third. So
right.
This horse backing against the girls on the class drop, stretching out to a more suitable distance. I think it's just a free space. It's a 4 and move on. In behind that, I do like the 5 Abby's Destiny a little bit, 6-1 on the morning line. And then number 9, Maybell. You talked about the daughter, Tapazar for Ray Hernandez. 498 for you, 459 for me. I'm going to single and spread out a little bit. I may play another pick 5 and use a couple of horses just in case. I don't know. I need to look at it. I don't think they can beat my Sweet Babu. So.
Well, you saw I got all them scribbles. I was going to try to beat her, and then after the scratch, I gave up. I'm going to spread elsewhere now.
It looks like a 4 and move.
Yep.
So, opening leg of the pick 5, we're going to single here with My Sweet Babu. Back in against the fillies on the class drop and stretch out in class. That takes us to race number 2. It's a start of a 50-cent pick 4, and that ends with our featured stake event. Race number 5 here at the track is the 38th running of the $100,000 John Battaglia Memorial, and that's our first major prep for our Jeff Ruby Stakes Day on March 14th. And, you know, normally this feels a little shorter, but with the purse increase to the race and the purses overall here at the track, a lot of better horses have stayed around, and they're aiming this race. They're aiming for that sequence. So I think both races are loaded tonight, and I think we could see the winner of the Bourbonnette Oaks or even the Ruby come out of these races tonight. These are some deep races, and I'm excited for it. So the pick 4 starts here, ending with the feature Battaglia. And how are you going to start the pick 4 here?
Well, I'm going to take 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I was going to hit the all button, and then I thought, well, the 1, 2, and 8 just don't look very good to me. So I thought, well, I can get through and then maybe hit the all button in the next leg, which I think might be a little bit more open. So that's what I decided to do. I like Tempestuous Amy a little bit the best. Barbara Riley, Alan Garcia dropping back to 18, ran for the optional 40. That's just too much for her. And didn't run that bad. I mean, Rogue 2 is a really nice horse.
Yeah, she's going to be, I think she's 3-1 favorite in the Latonia prep tomorrow.
Right, exactly. So I don't like her tomorrow, by the way, but I think there's too much speed in there. But she's run off, 3 in a row, I think, at Turfway.
Yeah, she's like 6 out of 7 here.
Yeah, so, I mean, there was no way this mare was going to stay with her. So I think she's going to sit back a little bit, blast home. I thought the 5, Madame Barbarian, just because the same way we found the $120 horse last Friday, Shipper, we have no idea what level she is. We don't know if she can get the distance. We know it's a good trainer. We know it's a good rider. We know we get the weight break. You're going to get 5, 6, 7 to 1.
I hope so.
I just say put them on your ticket. You don't have to like the horse. Just put them on your ticket.
Right.
You know, and that's the way I am with the 5 as the second pick, and then Jimenez with the 3 for Roberson. I think that horse obviously fits. Just ran right behind the 6 last time, and then I'm going to also add the 4, just because drop to 12, win by a nose, step back to 25, ran decent at 47 to 1. You know, ran a good 4th, ran a good 59 number. So 3, 4, 5, 6, I think wraps it up. I don't think you need anybody else. I mean,
I don't either. And in fact, I wasn't going to use the 4 till you just talked about her, and I probably should go ahead and throw her in now. I'm on the other 3 horses that you have picked 6, 5, 3. I have them in a little bit different order. Number 5, Madame Barbarian. I love her in here. Like you said, Cipriano Contreras. He's brought horses in here and done this very well from horses coming from the East Coast. And when he gets horses first time in his barn, he hits at 24%, and he's hitting way more than that here. He's hitting at almost 40% in the win, or maybe even better than that. I haven't checked the stats the past couple of days, but like you said, breaking weight, a lot of upside, 6-time winner at the distance, and should get the trip, I think. And I'm going to put her on top. Number 3, No Interest, and then number 6, Tempestuous Amy. For all the reasons you said, those are my 3, and I'll add in the 4 in the pick 4, I guess, as well. Now the third race starts the 20-cent single 6 jackpot wager, and I think there's a carryover somewhere around $5,200. It wasn't hit last night, and it's a pretty good sequence to attack tonight. You have those 2 stake races and a couple of races that maybe you can go short end as well. But starts here in the 20-cent single 6, and I know you're playing the pick 4. You said you may hit the all button. We'll talk about how deep you're going to go in here, and it's a filly mare 2 cents a date, two in a full year to go a mile. And my top pick in here, I'm going to go for Patty. 6 to 1, big class dropper. Now, she's never won here, but she certainly hasn't faced anything that she'll face today, in my opinion. I think she should get a pretty good trip with Rogelio Miranda in here, and stretching out to the mile distance, so I think she'll be a lot more forwardly placed in here. There is a tiny bit of speed, but I think she's a class. I'm going to use her. And number 4, Sperling. She's a winner here at the meet, and it was her last race. It was the same condition as today. She jumped a condition, still won. She's going to need a lot of pace. There's a little bit of pace. I don't know how much. She's going to need a lot. So, but I think Sperling has a chance in here. And then I'm going for a long shot. We're completely different in here for once, and I'm going to go for number 1, Classy Scarlet at 20 to 1. as my third choice in here. This one rallied from last in run 6, kind of ran in the middle of the field there. First time over the track, that was going short, stretches out to the route distance, had an inside draw that day at the 3-hole. So I like the benefit over the track. I think the horse needs the distance. Trainer's a good trainer, and 20-1 I like. This is a very wide open race.
Do you know who the rider is?
Fanny Cruz's.
I mean,
No, I don't. I do know that she rides.
to me, it might as well be Toby Nouncey.
Fanny Farkle.
Have you ever heard the story about Toby Nouncey?
No, but I'll listen. Story time with Dan Cronin.
We're at the old River Downs. We're standing there, and a guy comes up to my dad, and he says, "Hey, Hep, I've never heard of this rider before." My dad's like, "Who?" He goes, "Toby Nouncey." It's like, "Who?" He said, "Toby Nouncey." So my dad grabs the program, and it says, "To be announced."
I think I've heard that one.
That's a
I
true
forgot
story.
that
Larry
is
Mann
good.
is the one that did
I
it.
heard somebody
You remember
talk about
Larry?
that,
Ticket
yeah.
Larry? Souvenir Larry?
Toby Nancy. Well, it's Fanny. I don't know. I'll find out how to say her name before the race because I think there's a chance I'll say it in the winner's circle. So I do know she's from. She rides in Canada, where Michael Blake came from. I think she works down there in Lexington for him. So I like her. She's got a trip over the track, stretching out. Like I said, 20-1, and a race that you're spreading out in. I'm interested to see who you're taking on top in here.
Well, I took Julisse on top. I had to take somebody, and I thought, well, I know the horse is going to sit close to the pace. I know she's honest. She's going to make her run. She's going to run a mid-50s type Briz or whatever number you like to use, somewhere in there. It's going to give an honest effort.
Makes sense.
So I just tossed on top, and then the 4, I thought, for all the reasons you thought, has to come from way back, but is 2 for 3, 1-2 at Turfway, has a chance. And then Nook was my third pick. Because we just don't know, at this point, we don't know, is it going to be speed biased or not? Mm-hmm. If it comes out speed biased and this horse makes a 3-length lead,
that's a big chance, yes.
She may just keep going. Now, the 9, you made good points there. On the 1, you made good points, and it just validates to me that I chose the right race to hit the all button. Now, hopefully, I don't get burned with a 6-5 shot when all the money comes in on somebody. Right. I think this is the race. If you can go deep, go as deep as you can. If you can hit the all button, then do it. Because just like last Friday, we got a big shot in there to hit some
this could
$50,
be the race.
$60 horse. So that's if you single the 4 in the first race, you have to take prices somewhere else or don't play.
Right.
Me not playing, that's common. That's like telling me not to eat. I mean, I'm going to play. So who you like in the 4th? I'm
going to say if you're going this big in the 3rd, you're going to have to be down to 1 or 2, I would think, in the 4th. So Let's talk about the 4th. At race 4, we celebrate our Track Super's birthday here. Race 4 named for Jeff Chapman's birthday bash. And race number 4, Dan, is a affiliate mare 2 and 6 months to go 6 furlongs. There's a scratch of the 1 and 13 in here. And I'm interested to see how short you're going in here.
I'm only taking 2 horses in here, and that's the 2 that just keep beating heads against each other. When I look back in the chart, the 11s beat the 9, and 9s beat the 11. They just they're really similar type older mares that like to beat on each other. So I think either Archie's Girl or the 11 Country Dreamin's going to win, and that's just the way I'm going to play it.
Who's Oscar Macias? What, you got question about riders?
Yeah, I have no idea. I was hoping there was a rider change, but the good part is Charles Brown. I like Indiana Shippers. I like the class. I really like the post. I love the post. Anything on the outside. The horse likes to win, 6 for 22, and the last couple times that she's faced the 9, she's run right by her. So if you like the 9, how do you not use the 11 a little bit when they're both going to be similar prices? And the reason I leaned to the 9 a little bit, even though the other one had beat her, was just because of the 1-for-1 at Turfway.
Right.
In a tough race, Rally come flying just at the end. Cipriano Contreras, we both love. You get the lightweight, you get the perfect outside post. And I just don't see anything else in here to take. I mean, I guess you could use, the 4. I guess you could use the 2. But I don't want to double my ticket when I'm confident that either the 9 or 11 is going to win. Right.
Well, I'm certainly in agreement with you about the 9. The 11, I don't know. I just thought this horse only had 2 races since July. The trainer doesn't win that well off the layoff, and I thought maybe the horse might need one, but the way the track might be playing here, the horse might not need one. It might be pretty tight, and like you said, those speed buys, the horse is going to be fresh, should be out there. I see it. I'll probably have to change my ticket up, mat it in now, and maybe hit the ATM, get some more money, because I don't want to leave that one off now that you mentioned it. But number 9, Archie's Girl, it is my top pick. I like her a lot, and if roles were reversed probably between the 2 and the 9, I would go against the 2. The 2 was stuck down inside last time. She's stuck down in the 1 hole today with the scratch of the 1. So she's had everything up against her. I just wish if she would ever draw outside, since coming to the barn at Cahill, I don't think the 9 can beat her. But post position wise, I'm going for the 9 on top. And that's why I moved the 4 Hey into my second spot, 10-1, and then the 2 Drama Run. 9-4-2, my top 3 in here. Now, if we're right so far, it comes down to the 5th race, and it's a loaded race, and it is the $100,000 John Battaglia Memorial, 38th running of the Battaglia. It's my own 16th for 3-year-olds. It's the last prep for the Jeff Ruby Stakes, which takes place here on March 14th. And we did lose a few horses in the 5th race due to scratches, numbers 2, 6, 9, and 12. There are 4 scratches, so it's down to 8, but of those 8, you can basically make a case for almost all of them.
Yeah, what a race. This is a really cool race. I just fell in love with the 7. I hope you picked them too. Daggone it. There goes our price.
Both be right?
But there goes our price when we both pick them.
Well, we might get 5-1 pick 4 value.
Is it Tama Toto? Is that how you pronounce this?
Toma Toto?
Toma Toto?
I think that means you drink everything.
Well, that would work
Punch
for
play?
me too. I went back and watched this replay, and then I looked at the chart, and the horse that ran out of the money in that race was second in the Breeders' Cup.
Really?
So the Channel horse, I can't remember the name of the horse, but ran second in the Breeders' Cup, was the favorite in this race, ran like 5th or 6th. So I started digging through, well, look at the other horses. I mean, these were really nice horses. Now, the race at Turfway for $50,000 wasn't probably the greatest race, just a flat 3rd. But I think this horse wants the route. I think the route is the key. Drop back, make a run. And then I started looking, and I thought, okay, well, the 2 has no chance, but he's speed. The 4 has no chance, but speed. The 5 ran lights out last time, speed. The 11, speed. The 10, speed. The 9, pretty kind of speed, stalker speed. So, there's liable to be a 46 pace in here.
Yeah.
So somebody might have to close, and that would be perfect for the 7 to come flying. Now, the other 2 I'm using in here, and I'm using them also in the pick 5, is the 2 High Holy. Just when they run that kind of figure, I have a hard time leaving them out the next time. I know that's probably a sucker bet. He's probably
we got to throw him, man. He made us a lot of money here back on the show 2 starts back, remember?
Yeah, that was the horse where we were screaming Le Peru off.
Yeah.
And
he studied the entire race, or what?
Yeah. Steadied entire backstretch was the comment.
Yeah.
And that wasn't my comment either. That was the form, not me. So
yours is probably
mine would have been a lot
PG.
worse, yeah. So he's come to Turfway, win 2 in a row, ran a gigantic number last time. I mean, there's no telling how good this horse should be. So I got to use the 5, and then the 3 is one of those that I'm only using because of the pace.
Right.
The pace is so fast that even though this horse beat Lesser and wasn't really that impressive doing it, if that pace gets hot and Toto don't show up,
this one will be running.
This one's going to be flying, and it's Maker. How you going to leave out Maker at 5-1, 6-1? So I'm using those 3.
We have a jockey change on that horse,
No, who's on this one?
Corey Lannery. So did we give him any instructions about this track here? Because you know what he's going to do, turn him for home.
Yeah, Corey. Remember that rail at Churchill? Act like you're allergic to it and go about 8 deep and maybe even stop at Amazon on the way and just fly home. That would be my advice.
There you go.
Stay out of trouble.
Riding tips for Sealand from DC.
Go as wide as you can go.
Well, my top pick is the same as yours, 5-1, the 7 Toma Toto. All the same reasons. I think the horse is begging for the route of ground. I have no reservations about the horse getting beat running 3rd here when it got beat 7 lengths. I think the horse ultimately wanted ground, and it did show up there at Sam Houston. So I'm putting that horse on top. Invader I'm going to use as my second choice in here. Dominant winner last started. The reason I like that, you don't ever see Julio Garcia winning a horse by 12 lengths.
True.
Usually just a couple.
Wraps
He
up.
saves some for the the next race and just does enough to get done and looks down the road for future races. And for this horse to win off by that, it bodes very well and says a lot for me about the horse. Third, number 5, High Holy, all the same reasons. This one's 2 for 2 at the track. Stretching out to the route distance, I really don't. It doesn't bother me. The sire and the mare both won at short distances and route distances, and of course, Great Notion. Won right here at the track, won the prep for the Turfway preview, and then was second behind Champ Ali, who, of course, went on to win.
What a neat horse.
I think over $1 million, and of course he won. He won. This horse came back and won the Southwest after being beaten here, the sire. So this horse has the pedigree to, accept the stretch out in distance. 7-2 on the morning line. Dan's second choice, my third, and I'm adding the horse into pick 4 as well. I'm going 4 deep in here. Numbers 1, 5, 7, and 8, and the one I like the one for the same reason you thought about a possible pace meltdown. Hail to the Chief. This one won here, rallied from off the pace, and kind of had a troubled trip in its second start of its career at Churchill. Got a decent number out of that race, and I think we'll save some ground. And like you said, it could set up for a deep closer. So I'm going to add the one. I'm going to use 1, 5, 7, 8 in my pick 4. Both of our top picks are the 7 at 5-1.
Is Jersey Joe here?
Jersey Joe stayed in South Florida.
Okay, I saw that. So there's got to be a rider.
Yeah, that is going to be Abel Lascano. Lascano picks up the one there. So that's the first 5 races. Talked about the featured 38th running of the Battaglia. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to take a little pause for the cause here as we honor America, and we ask that you please rise for our national anthem. Good evening, racing fans. Welcome to Turfway Park. The windows are open. 8 races on this Dollar Friday from the track. We have a lot going on here at the track. We'll get that to those promotions here shortly. But first, I'd ask that you take out your racing programs, and I'll give you tonight's late program changes. In the first race, start of the pick 5, there are 3 scratches. Scratch number 2, Island Trees. Scratch number 3, Magic Finish. Scratch the 6, Patty Jane. First race numbers 2, 3, 6, all withdrawn. Race 2 starts the early pick 4. In that pick 4, there's a scratch at number 7, Vortices. Number 7, Vortices, has been scratched. Third race starts the single 6. There's a carryover of just around $5,200 in that wager. Overweight of number 5, Jewel Lisa, the rider 3 over. Scratch number 8, Tenacious Sally. Scratch number 10, Holy Cookie. In the fourth race, draw a line through number 1, Appealing Julia. Number 1, Appealing Julia, has been scratched. Also scratch the 13, Medi Bemps. Number 13, Medi Bemps, is also withdrawn from the fourth. Race 5, the Battaglia. Several changes. Jockey change on the 1 to Abel Lascano. Scratch number 2, Drew. Jockey change on the 3, Artemis Eagle, make it Corey Lannery. Scratch number 6, Truculent. Scratch number 9, Shake Some Action. And scratch number 12, Declared, has been declared. Sixth race starts the final rolling pick 3 from Turfway. Scratch number 6, Friday Night Star. Number 6, Friday Night Star, has been scratched from our 6th event. Race number 7, kind of our co-featured stake event here. It's the 38th running of the $75,000 guaranteed Cincinnati Trophy Stakes. It's a Philly 3-year-old stake event to go 6.5. There are a couple of changes. Scratch number 1, My Good Girl. Scratch number 5, Miss Firecracker. And overweight on the 11, Secretly Wicked. That rider 2 pounds over. Eighth and final with the high 5 carryover. There are a couple of changes. Scratch number 12, Avir Fortuna. Be aware the 13 draws in off the also eligible Will Race. And scratch number 14, Ronin. Those are the changes at this time. Any additional changes coming in throughout the balance of the program, I'll get those to you as they do so. First post in 22. Good evening once again. Welcome back to the Odds Couple Show here at Turfway. We got through the first 5 races prior to the anthem and the changes. We have 3 left, and the last 3 races of that late pick 4 starts the final rolling pick 3. There is a stake event still left to talk about. And race number 6, we talked about the stake race, how deep we're going in that late pick 4. How about the 6th race?
I think you got to go really deep in here.
Do you?
I just don't. I'm not wild about anything. I had 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9 in the pick 4. I mean, I had 6 of them. I just couldn't make any heads or tails out of this. I mean, I thought there was a lot of speed in here, which could set it up for some kind of wild result. So I thought Dream Saturday might trip out as the best. We fell on the same horse in a tough race like this, but I thought the post would help. The horse has been stuck inside now 3 times in a row. 1 hole, 3 hole, 4 hole. Now gets back to the outside to where he can just sit, relax. I like the change in rider.
Me too, and I think that's why they changed riders. I think they felt like this horse was rushed too much last time, and so they wanted somebody to get the horse off the pace.
And it was like he was dragging him, and he was in between, and I mean, maybe he just was stuck because that horse on the outside went, and then he was kind of stuck. So, no, I agree with you. So they probably made the change to sit and relax. And I think the speed today is so much because you got the 8's going to break. You got the 1's going to break, the 3 probably break, the 4's definitely going to break, the 5's more route speed but should break too. So, I mean, I think you're going to have a bunch of them up there trying to go for the lead. So I'm going to use a bunch. I'm going to take the 7 on top. The 8 would be my second pick, Strong Yen. Rider, obvious. We all love Corrales. Perfect post. I think he kind of inherited the lead last time. I don't think he really needs the lead. I think he can kind of stalk from the outside. So I think he'll sit back just a little. And then I thought U.S. Marshall was just dangerous leaving him out, the 5. So I think you got to take a few of them in there, but my top 3 would be 5, 7, 8 if you're trying to cut the ticket some.
Yeah, I'm with you on the top pick Dream Saturday. Same reasons. I think this horse is the horse here today, and I think should, like you said, trip out. The horse is an 8-time winner at the distance, loves Turfway Park, rarely off the board here, tries every time, and I think there's enough speed to set it up for him. After that, because of this possible speed scenario, I love number 9, Bresno, and I don't mind the step up in class. I think well drawn to the outside at the sprint distance, gets a good jockey. The trainer is doing very well at the meet. And then number 2, I'm going to use as well, So Caught Up in You. I think this one will be rolling late as well. Had the 2-hole last start in and overcame it and ran second to a pretty decent field, beating a couple of links that day.
Yep.
Like you said, very competitive race, and if this race is one of the races where you can be right, our top pick's 5-1. That increases those multi-race wager payouts. I mean, you get a $12 horse.
Yeah, I think the late pick 4's got a chance to pay $1,000 or something like it did
The last race
Friday.
for me is almost impossible. I'm spread out like butter there. I'm only going in the next race. We're going to talk about just a couple of horses deep.
I'm curious to see if you got the same. I really like a horse in here. I'm going to use as a potential single, but there's also a couple long shots that I hate to leave out.
Well, let's talk about it. It's the 7th race here, the 38th running of the Cincinnati Trophy Stakes. Filly 3-year-old stake event, $75,000. They'll go 6.5 furlongs. A couple of changes. There are 2 scratches. Numbers 1 and 5 are out. And I'll let you talk about it first, and I'll talk about it. And as I look on the screen, our top 2 are the same, obviously. But tell us how you came on number 10, Karak.
Well, Karak, I've followed since day one. You know, win a good, solid race at Belmont. They thought enough of them to take her over to Europe to Ascot. Okay, she got beat 9 lengths. She didn't get disgraced.
You see 15, you're like, well,
Yeah,
15,
yeah,
but you only
15.
get 9 lengths.
Yeah, ran decent, comes back into Tyro and wins. Lay up again, come back into Matron and gets beat by Alms, who's one of the best sprinters, if not one of the best fillies in the country. I mean, she's really, really good. Then goes and runs against Fly So Pretty and runs a decent race too. I mean, Fly So Pretty and Olms would be 1-5 in these races.
Absolutely.
In this race tonight.
That race was loaded.
Oh.
There was 3 next out winners came out of that last race at Aqueduct.
Absolutely loaded. So now you get a little bit of a layoff. You got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 works on the chart to get her ready. Perfect 10-hole post. Perfect stalking ability. She does not need the lead. Is it a question? Can she get the extra half furlong? Yeah, it's a little question, but I mean, I think she's going to get the absolute perfect trip. I have to have the 10 on top.
Me too.
And the other reason is, and I'm not trying to knock the 7, but if you go back and watch the replay of Anna's Fast, when she turns for home against a group of nothing,
It was a weak field, short field, not loaded with talent.
it almost looked like she was going to get beat for a split second.
I thought so too, but then, like I spoke earlier, the Julio angle is what I'm hoping.
But when they turned for home, I went, uh-oh, she's beat. And then finally just kind of slowly showed her class.
Yeah.
But didn't really dominate to where you're like, wow,
Yeah.
man. But, you know, she fits. She might make the lead here. She's probably some quality also. So I can understand using the 7 and the 10. I'm going to only use the 10 in probably half of my tickets. I'll add the 7 in a few. But when I do add the 7, I'm also going to add the 9 and the 11, who will both be at least 15 to 25 to 1. Now, why would I do that? Well, what if the 10 and
I was gonna
7?
say.
What if the 10 and 7 kill each other? What if the 8 Snaffle runs out of there and just dogs those 2 all the way around? You know, what if the 3 runs a little bit, the 4 runs a little bit?
You want to have some closers.
Yeah, so if this race would completely melt down, and they've been known to do that in the last half furlong here, I want to have the outside horses
In a sprint race, yeah, for sure.
in a sprint that can close, that are gigantic prices. And now, we just said that the race that Anna's Fast came out of was weak, but what if we're wrong? What if the 11 wasn't that weak and they just couldn't catch the lone leader in Anna's Fast, and now that there's somebody running with her, now all of a sudden she can close into
get it.
that, and Secretly Wicked's going to be probably 30, maybe even 40 to 1. I mean,
Yeah, I
if you're
see it.
betting tries, you
Why
got to
not?
use the 11.
How much is your ticket?
Well, I'm taking about 3 or 4 of them in the 5th, probably just 3 of them, 3, 5, 7. I'm taking those 6 horses, so that's 18. Single in the 10 in the 1 ticket, taking about 4 in the last, so that's not too much.
No.
And then I'm going to flip-flop it.
$36.
I'm going to single Toto in the 5th, take the same few in the 6th, with the long shots in this race with a few in the last. So I'm going to flip-flop it.
Either way, you're going to play both of them. You're going to stay probably somewhere around 100.
Yeah, about $50 each ticket, and flip-flop it, and hope that one of my singles wins. And then if the other one would get beat, we got 30 to 1, 20 to 1 backups.
Right.
That if somebody blows up the board and I can get Toto home, I might be rooting against my other ticket.
I get it. Well, for all the same reasons you said, number 10, Karak is my top pick as well. 7-2 on the morning line. Anna's fast. I'm going Wesley Ward for the exacta. Number 3, Rising Seas. Man, she's done nothing wrong to knock her, though. My only thing is she's drawn towards the inside and she has speed. Yep. And the race loaded with speed. And
that's why I didn't take her.
I'm just using her for third strictly on what she's done and her connections. But it's going to be hard for me to see her to win. But just, I had to give her the respect and just show her on the ticket. But I don't know if I'll use her in the pick 4s. I may just go 7 and 10 in there. But
and you'll
it's
probably
all about
win.
Wesley Ward.
You'll probably win. If you did 7-10 and you get beat, you probably just got some bad luck tonight.
Well, that takes us to the 8th race, and this race is one that I think you need some coverage in here. Yeah. I really don't have a super strong opinion. I have some opinions on a couple of horses, but I am going to spread out deep in the single 6 and in the late pick 4. But my top pick in the last race, the maiden 5 claimer to go a mile, is a 10 to 1 shot.
Uh-oh.
So I'm going to go for number 5, Sweet Lucy Bell. Now, she's 5 years old, only raced 5 times. You can knock that. And last start, she was beating 11 lengths and kind of split the field. But it was making a start off the layoff. She broke through the gate prior to the race, and, it was all worked up. Now, they've schooled her a couple of times to get off the starters list because of that. Yeah. So now she understands what she's doing. She's raced at night again. Second start off the layoff, gets a hot riding apprentice. And, I don't think that was her last start. I think she should show more speed than that, and I think she will. And at 10 to 1 in a race that I don't think is very talented, I'm going to go for her on top. And after that, I got to go all the way to the outside. And the next horse I like going the mile distance is breaking from the parking lot. That's a 13, Live It Up. And then the only other horse in here I thought really that I can make a case for is number 6, Cantaloupe Island. Claimed 2 back off of Brad Cox, was second as the beaten favorite that day. That wasn't a very deep race either. A couple of these horses in this race coming out of there as well. Came back for the 15. Of course, you have to raise here in the state of Kentucky off the claim, and now they're coming back to a more sensible level at the 5 level. But I don't have a lot of confidence in her. I'm just using her third, but I'm going to add some other horses in here. I'm going to use the 9, 10, 11, and maybe even the 2 in the pick 4.
Yeah, I can't knock really anybody in here. That's the thing. I mean, depending on budget, I could understand hitting the all button, but you got to at least take the 3, Scotty's Folly, the 5, it's your top pick, the 6, Cantaloupe Island. The 7's kind of iffy. I put her in the pick 5, but I can understand if you try to beat her. But then the 10, 11, and 13 are all those kind of horses that are going to be 6 to 10 to 1. They got a chance.
Right.
They don't look great. They got definite reasons to toss, but
these are the races that makes them pay here. The maiden 5s or the non-winners in a full year. These are the races you want as much coverage, I think, as possible.
Right. So I'm going to take a bunch of them in there and just hope to get lucky in the last. I have really no opinion. I'm 6-3-5, but take as many of them as you can possibly take. I'm hoping Karak wins easy, and I'm hoping that Toto wins easy, and that parlay. If I can get 3 to 1 and 3 to 1, would you sign up?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, I would
sign up right now, and we're going to probably single in the opener too. So we got a strong opinion on at least 4 horses tonight. Last Friday, 5 top pick winners. We're going to see if he can repeat that again. It's awful tough thing to do, but we're going to take a shot here. 10 minutes to post. The horses are in the paddock. Race fans, with the cooler temperatures here in Florence, Kentucky, we ask that you make your wagers early because the horses will be coming on the track with abbreviated post parade. 8 races on the card, live music, dollar beers, dollar dogs, dollar bets. Good luck tonight.